Hello and welcome to the Somatic Movement and Mindset podcast with me, Clinical Somatic Educator and founder of Total Somatics, Heidi Hadley. The Somatic Movement and Mindset podcast has been designed to help you gain a deeper understanding to how your mind and body work. You will learn about your amazing mind and body and why over time you can feel pain, recurring injuries and poor posture. Within this podcast, I will teach you why this doesn't have to be your future or the norm for you. Would you like to learn how to reduce pain, move freely, and gain a new lease of life? Let's get started. Hello and welcome back. Now, just before we get started, can I encourage you, if you're watching this on the Total Somatics YouTube channel, to like, share, subscribe, and press the notification bell. The reason is there's a large percentage of people that watch this YouTube channel that are not subscribed. And obviously, the more people that subscribe to this channel means that many more people will hear about it. And that's really important when we look at the total somatic approach to health and well-being. You're benefiting from this, and you know many other people will also benefit from this. And so the more that you can share this by sharing, liking, subscribing, the way that YouTube works is that many more people will hear about it. Now, just before we get started, you'll probably notice that I'm actually, if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, that I'm in a different setting. So I'm not in my somatic studio. And that is that today is the final day of my husband and I's Western Australian road trip. So for 17 days, we've been traveling around Western Australia, and we've done that over 1,000 kilometres in our hire car, which was really good. And we've looked at so many areas. So we went from the capital city of Perth, and we've gone all around the south of Perth, right down to the bottom to Albany. And then we've come back up. So I'm currently in the hotel room in Fremantle. And so I've put a little picture in the background of some little turtles and some local art that I picked up. And that's my hat that's kept me as free from burns as possible, because it's been about 37 degrees most days. It's been really lovely, very warm, but we've made sure we had our factor 50 on. Now, I share all this with you because while we were on the trip, I thought about you quite often, and there was a quote that came up in the window of a theatre in Mandurah, and this really got my thoughts going. Now, I'm going to share it. I've got it on my phone, but I'm going to make sure it pops up on the screen for you so you can share it with me. And the heading said, "Being in nature makes us healthier." And there's a few little points here. It said, being among trees can lower blood pressure and reduce cardiovascular risk. A walk in nature reduces anxiety, decreases the stress hormone cortisol, and clears the mind. Some studies have shown that regular nature time increases immune cells. We share DNA with trees and rely on them for oxygen. We can't live without them and lead richer lives with them. Isn't that beautiful? And so when I saw that, it really got my thoughts going on how can I actually share our experience with you, and how can you take lessons away with a total somatic approach? So I'm going to just bring up on the screen for you. So if you're watching this on the Total Somatics YouTube channel, you can see some of the incredible things that we've seen over the last 2.5 weeks or so. And although I'm going to share this with you, I'd like you to see how in this podcast today, you can take away these principles and look at how you can apply this in your own personal circumstances. So as you see on the screen here, we experience things such as thrombolites. I'm not sure if you've heard of thrombolites, but they're pretty incredible things. And they really started the oxygen in the planet on our Earth. And at one point, the entire Earth was covered in thrombolites. But now it's only in 2 places in the world. And that's both at the top of Western Australia and down towards the bottom where we travelled. So you could see them bubbling up. That was the oxygen just bubbling. So these are living organisms. And we had the privilege to see this living organism, which really started off the earth. So if you haven't heard of thrombolites, do check it out. That was incredible. We also experienced ancient caves, and we saw the stalagmites and the stalactites and how they were coming through the cave. And then you could also see in some of the images the roots of trees coming that far down. So you had this huge respect for the trees as well and how deep their roots went. So we kind of doubled up on our gratitude in that situation. We also saw stingrays, lizards, snakes, ancient forests, which were beautiful. We did like a treetop walk across the canopy, so that was incredible. My husband took a photo of me next to this very old tree. It was over 400 years old, so you could just get a comparison of me compared to this ancient tree, and most of it had gone, but they've left the trunk so you can get an idea of the size of the tree. We had dolphins that we saw. That was incredible, like a pod of dolphins, juveniles playing with seaweed. That was great fun. Fossils and incredible rock formations. So you see, when we saw this, and then I saw that poster or that sign in the theatre window in Mandurah, I thought, my goodness, I really want to share this with you, because being immersed in nature is a really calming effect on our nervous system. And as we start a new year, I'd love us to actually focus on how we can create emotional resilience and also a regulation of our nervous system. Because I'm sure, like all of us, you've reflected over the last year and you've known that there's been many good times, but there's been incredibly challenging times. And maybe it's the first few days of the year and things are still pretty challenging. So we turn over into a new year, but the challenges don't go away. It's just a different date on the calendar. So it's like, how can we move forward developing resilience and also regulation within our nervous system when we know that life is going to keep throwing curveballs at us? When we create a grounding and a calming within our nervous system, that helps build the capacity, the strength, and the resilience within our nervous system. As I've mentioned many times before, we can't change the situations around us, but we can manage how we feel internally, and that's where the power lies. And so, what I want to share with you is the Total Somatics approach to grounding and calming our nervous system as we move forward in this new year. And as we embrace a new year where we keep evolving and we keep changing and we learn every day a new lesson that can help build on our personal growth and development. So, when we are physically connected with nature, what you'll actually find is this has a greater grounding, stabilizing, and calming effect on our entire soma. I'm sure you'd agree with me. It could be things like co regulation. You know, if you're with a pet, for instance, have you ever noticed how calm you feel? That's co regulation. Your nervous systems are regulating together. Likewise, if you were to touch or hug or hold a tree, or I met up with a Total Somatics member who lives in Perth, and we had our photograph taken next to this beautiful tree. And we both put our hand on the tree and we said, what an ancient old tree this is. And if this tree could speak, the stories it would have to tell you. Because we're looking at such a huge old specimen, organism. The trees are living still, so they've got this energy about them too, and that's what you saw in that sign that I shared with you, that our DNA shares with the trees and nature as a whole. And so I'm just going to hold some notes next to me, because obviously I'm in a different setting to usual, so excuse me if you see me looking a lot at my notes or rustling of paper, but really want to share these important points with you, because this is what's really going to help to take away as lessons in this podcast today. And that is that nature is incredibly powerful, from the crashing of the waves, but then to the peaceful, calm tweeting of the birds or the rustling of the trees, with the wind. It can be incredibly powerful, incredibly calming. Whatever it's doing in nature, we're still co-regulating. We're still calming our nervous system and matching the environment that we're in. And that can be from the positive ions that can be coming from the ocean or from the rock formations or from the sand if we're on the coast, for instance. It's also from just the energy that we have, that vibration that's around us. Every single cell in our body has a vibrational frequency, the same with nature. And when we're in that calm vibration or that calm energy, we feel a settling and a grounding from within, with different aromas, and the fresh oxygen, if we can walk amongst the trees, is so important, and it creates a safety and a balance feeling from within. Now, if you're hearing me mention the words things like vibration and energy, you might think, oh, this sounds like one of these new agey kind of expressions, but please, everything I share with you has a science base. And if that was your first impression, I'd like to share something really important with you. And that is that science has actually revealed that the Earth has a natural charge. And this natural charge actually activates the parasympathetic nervous system. So that's the part of your nervous system which leads to resting and digesting. So it's the calming, it's the balancing. And you see, when the Earth's natural charge activates your parasympathetic nervous system, what that starts to do is it improves your heart rate variability, it reduces your inflammation, it improves your sleep, it increases your energy, it eases your pain, it lowers your stress levels, it boosts your overall well-being, and it regulates your body's natural rhythms. You see, we have all these different biorhythms. For instance, when you think of a biorhythm that many people consider, that could be when a newborn baby is delivered. And when the baby and the mother are brought back together, those biorhythms, the baby will calm down when it hears the mother or can smell or feel or hear her heart beating, because they've been in rhythm for so long. We are full of rhythms all the time. And when we're in nature, that is what really calms us down. And so, as you know, from many of my previous podcasts and also from many of my free online events, I'm always encouraging you to look in different directions with your eyes. Remember, I've often said to you, when you look up at nature, let your eyes just softly look around at the trees, look to the distance at a bird, look close up. So you're letting your eyes look at different depth perceptions, but also generally looking around. And by doing this, it actually allows your nervous system to slow down and feel a calming and a sense of grounding from within. Because instead of having those intense eyes looking straight at the horizon at potentially a predator, or very hyperactive eyes looking to get out of danger, when you let your eyes softly just roll around and look at different depths of perception and distance, it allows your nervous system to actually calm and wind down. And that actually helps to create calm, safety, and it reassures your nervous system it's okay to just slow down and rest. So, as we move forward with a new year, very exciting year, and whenever you're listening to this podcast, just start it from today onwards. But could we create a new intention of spending at least 30 minutes a day in nature? And not just in nature, but could we physically make contact with the nature? So it could be maybe touching or holding a tree. Maybe you want to hug a tree, or you want to sit on the grass and lean up against a tree, just making that contact. Maybe it's walking barefoot on the grass or on the sand, and seeing maybe if you can just potter around in the garden. All those sorts of things, getting your hands a bit dirty with the soil, or maybe touching. I love to, especially when we've been here, picking off some of the eucalyptus leaves, rubbing them in my hands and smelling the eucalyptus. Peppermint trees, we were pulling the peppermint leaves off, scrunching them and smelling them, really connecting with nature, because that is calming your nervous system down. Maybe if it's wintertime with you, maybe it's making a snowman or lying in the ground and doing snow angels and just doing playful things, but being again in nature. And maybe it's going for a walk by the river or by a pond or by a lake or by the sea. And if you want to, having a dip in the water, maybe putting your feet in or having a swim. And one thing we've done a lot of here is spending time with the birds. We'd feed the birds and we'd talk to the birds, and then the birds got used to us every day. And you could see their little characters. They're really cute. And a little rabbit used to come in, and then we were feeding these lizards as well, giving them like little blueberries. And they brought all their little family out and things. So you can really start to just connect with nature, and it's so peaceful. And so, could I encourage you to do that? Because those sorts of things are really going to help. If we have it on a daily basis, it creates a calming and a grounding. And it's a really nice thing, isn't it, to think, could I do at least 30 minutes each day? Because I'd encourage you to notice internally how you start to sense and feel when you change this behavior and you create this intentional action of spending time in nature. This is where we become totally somatic. It's not just about the movements, it's not just about breathing, it's not just about talking the talk, it's actually about sensing and feeling from within. And when we start making this as a total somatic lifestyle change, not just the movements, but where can we start regulating our nervous system and creating emotional resilience to help us in other situations. This really is contributing towards the rest of the work that you're doing with me within Total Somatics. And that kind of leads me on to the work that I do in Total Somatics, because if you're within the Total Somatics membership, you'll know how much more we go into the depth of nervous system regulation, lots of strategies, specific movement sequences that can help with different situations that you experience and different health conditions you have. So if you ever want to join me and all the beautiful people from around the world that are in the Total Somatics membership, please go to totalsomatics.com, click on the Join Now page. And if the membership doors are currently closed, please leave your details on the wait list there. And the next time the membership doors open, you will be the very first to find out. In the meantime, though, if you want to get started today, within the Total Somatics online shop, I actually have a New Year offer on. So everything within the Total Somatics online shop has a 20% discount. And that discount is available till the 14th of January 2024. If you use the promo code 20PC, that's capital P and C, 20PC, you will receive in that promo code, if you put that in the discount section of the box, when you go to the checkout, you'll be able to get a discount of 20%. And you get to download those articles, you get to keep them permanently, and you can then start today with a Total Somatics approach to your health and well-being. And I would love to help you even more and support and serve you in the future if you ever want to join the Total Somatics membership. Because the little slither of information that you can get in the online shop, you get so much more in the membership, plus you get me to support you every step of the way. So I hope you and I can meet very, very soon. But until next time, all my love, all my very best wishes. Don't forget 20PC, 20% off everything in the online shop. But I'm going to send all my love and best wishes from here in Western Australia. And the next time you and I connect, I'll be back in South Australia. So see you very, very soon. All my love. Take care. Bye.
Thank you for joining me today. If you've enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and also forward this on to somebody you know will benefit. To learn more about pain relief, plus how to improve your health and well-being, go to totalsomatics.com. Until next time, take care.